Hello and happy Father's Day. Well, this past week in my weekly marketing video, I made an offer of a letter of introduction that you could send to doctor prospects, and I got an avalanche of interest. I wanted to make this quick video to let you know the campaign I had in mind, exactly what it is, why you might be interested in launching it, and how it's actually done. First, let me give you the backstory. I was on a family vacation and heard yet another story about a doctor who mismanaged his money. I felt inspired to write a blog post that I called The Myth of the Rich Doctor. When I got back from vacation, I discovered that the blog post had gone viral. It had been picked up by Doximity, which is the LinkedIn for doctors, and this exposure resulted in invitations to come and speak at medical meetings. I had hit a raw nerve. The next logical step was expanding this talk into a book, The Myth of the Rich Doctor. This book is sort of like the millionaire doctor next door, where I just summarize the habits that I've seen that separate struggling physicians from thriving physicians. In the year and a half since publication, what I've come to understand is that this idea really engages doctors. If you give a doctor a copy of this book, you see their eyes light up. I've given financial advisors the chance to write a foreword and afterword, and they say it's a great way of engaging a doctor. This past year, I've been all over the country speaking to groups of doctors, both through medical associations that have hired me to come in, and through financial advisors who hire me to come in and speak with smaller groups of doctors in their community. When I'm in this setting, I inevitably get a chance to talk with each doctor as I sign a copy of the book. And I would ask, what brings you in tonight? And inevitably I would hear, well, I came to hear a doctor speak. So what were the business results for the financial advisors who invited me into their community? Well, I wish I could tell you that there was some magic, and the room was filled with qualified doctor prospects who were ready to make an investment right there and then. You've had enough experience with growing your business, though, to know that that's not how it works. Here's what we did learn. Sending an invitation from me with an offer to hear a doctor speak and get a copy of The Myth of the Rich Doctor was a very effective way of generating leads and getting doctors in a room. However, these efforts were monetized after about 6 to 12 months. This is precisely what you learned in the Cracking the Physician Code course. As you know, the rate at which your business grows is the rate at which you build trust. And the rate at which you build trust is a function of which of the 3 buckets of leads you're dipping into. You could get an almost immediate conversion when one of your doctor clients tells another doctor good things about you. That's how I found my financial advisor, and I decided to use him before I even met him. Remember, doctors behave like tropical fish. They tend to group together and swim together under the same direction, and they do it for the same reason that tropical fish do. It's a mechanism to avoid predators. The financial advisors who invited me to their communities dipped into the bucket of information seekers. They purchased lists and sent out invitations to doctors who didn't know them and who don't know me. This has the longest sales cycle. I challenge myself, how can I take what I've learned in the past couple of years and offer you a high ROI marketing campaign? Let's talk about exactly how you leverage a letter of introduction that I'm willing to write for you to acquire more doctor clients. The first powerful element is the use of my name on the return address. When you've got a doctor on your team, it's like getting somebody to open the red velvet cord and get beyond the gatekeeper. With humility, I will say that I've got the credentials to grab doctors' attention. I'm a board-certified surgeon, so I'm a fellow of the American College of Surgeons. I was a faculty member at the University of Washington School of Medicine. I have experience actually treating patients, as well as experience being an entrepreneur. The letter itself is written on my letterhead, and I'm actually going to read you the elements and tell you why they're there. So the first sentence is, Dear Doctor, what is the state of your financial health? Posing a question is a great way of engaging a doctor. Then I say, I've come to discover that we doctors as a group face challenges translating our high incomes into wealth. I've also discovered that thriving physicians and dentists approach wealth building fundamentally differently than their struggling colleagues. Now, doctors are highly competitive, so the doctor reading this letter is going to want to know, well, how do I compare to my colleagues? In the next 2 paragraphs, I introduce myself and talk about my own financial mistakes. Then I share that I've spoken with hundreds of doctors and identified patterns that separate thriving doctors from struggling doctors, and these differences are summarized in my latest book, The Myth of the Rich Doctor. And then I say, well, we don't personally know each other. I want you to thrive too. I tell doctors that I'm not a financial advisor, but I do know how important having a solid financial foundation is. Then I introduce you. I say that you've made a special investment to understand doctors so that you can help more doctors build wealth. They can reach out to you to get a copy of the book. I plant the seed that we're available for speaking engagements. The question you might be wondering is, why doesn't the letter just say, Joe's a great guy who does a great job with doctors, make an appointment to see him? The answer is, it won't work. Doctors don't know me personally. They haven't seen any value that I've delivered, and so we haven't earned that level of trust yet. You can expect that in order for doctors to convert from this campaign, you will need to deliver value between 7 and 10 times. In other words, you want to offer them a series of marketing messages, not advertising messages. Marketing messages are about the client. Advertising messages are about you. So if you brought a hostess gift, a marketing message would be like bringing a bottle of wine. The advertising message would be like bringing your vacation photos. The biggest mistake I see financial advisors make in the medical market is a failure to fill out this sales funnel, a failure to have those 7 to 10 touch points. I strongly invite you to consider the creation of a series of videos that answer doctors' frequently asked questions. This gives doctors an opportunity to build a relationship with you. However, I know not everybody is in a position to do that, so I've got another solution for this specific sales funnel. I'm putting the final touches on my next book, 9 Ways Physicians and Dentists Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers and How You, Doctor, Can Avoid Losing Literally Millions of Dollars. I will create a video that addresses each of these 9 mistakes. So you could potentially have access to 9 videos that you could drip over 9 months. This campaign is not magic. It takes, though, some magical elements that have worked over the past year and a half and puts them together. Now, if you've been through my training, I want to offer you the gift of this letter of introduction and a digital copy of the Myth of the Rich Doctor book through the first chapter. You're also welcome to purchase copies of the physical book if that's what you prefer to offer. I'm happy to give you my price, which is $4 a book, plus shipping with a minimum order of 50 books. And there are other options like creating a custom cover or even creating a custom version of the book in which you write a foreword, an afterword, and have your name and contact information on the back cover below mine. In this email, you'll find a link to both the letter that you can customize and a digital version of the first chapter of the Myth book. Please do not plan on sending out this letter unless you've been through the Cracking the Physician Code course or the boot camp. The letter specifically states that you have advanced training, and my integrity is on the line here. If you would like to leverage this campaign of sending my letter of introduction, you're welcome to sign up for our next Cracking the Physician Code course. It begins July 2nd, and the registration link is below. Well, thanks for your interest, and again, happy Father's Day.